Hey, you wild women. Welcome back to another solo episode of the Into the Wild podcast. You know, it's funny. I've been traveling. We did the south of France. We did the Italian Riviera. I am jet-lagged. 9-hour time zone difference, but I feel like I'm good. I had a 93 sleep score last night, slept for 8 hours straight. I don't want to say that I'm back on track, but I definitely feel good. I feel rested in a way. My mind is rested. It's like the overwhelm of day-to-day life has come back. But for 2 weeks, it was gone because I got the opportunity to go on a vacation with my husband to Italy and the south of France. This has been a dream of mine since we stepped foot in Italy on our honeymoon 10 years ago. It was day 2 of our trip back then. I said to myself, in 10 years from now, if we're still together, we're coming back here and we're having an epic time. We're going to rent the hotel rooms we couldn't afford back then. We're going to eat at the most exquisite restaurants that we couldn't afford back then. We are going to rent luxury vehicles that we couldn't afford back then. And we're going to live the dreamiest, most luxurious trip of a lifetime. And it really was. But, you know, and coming back here to Canada and actually stepping foot in the venture studio and talking with my family and my friends, everyone always asks, Renee, what is the one big takeaway from your trip? Which got me thinking that I needed to record an episode of this because there were so many lessons. When we look at the lifestyle of the rich and famous, we think we want that. We want those luxury trips. We want those luxury bags and the cars and all that stuff. And I learned something pretty profound in my understanding of this lifestyle that I want to share today. But also, I want to share some other lessons I learned about this trip that are totally applicable to life, to business, to parenting, to marriage, that I'm going to share today, right now. But just want to let you know that I understand the life that we live, and I'm so blessed to understand this life. I'm so blessed, to live this life. It did not come without a lot of work to build the wealth, to build the foundation, to build the team. It didn't come without the work to make sure that our kids were in great hands for the 2 weeks that we were gone. Because yes, that caused me to lose sleep at night. There were so many things that had to happen in order for this trip to be what it is. 10 years of working on our marriage, 10 years of parenting, 10 years of building wealth. That was the thing we thought we needed to actually have the most incredible trip. And it had nothing to do with wealth. So here are some things that I learned on our 2 weeks in Italy and the south of France. First of all, health is wealth, period. We got to go to Monaco. And if you've ever been to Monaco, you'll understand everything I'm saying. But if you've never been to Monaco, you have to understand this place is dripping in luxury. It is the second smallest country in the world, apparently. It is just outside of Cannes, France. It is, I think they say like per capita has the most billionaires in the world. And you're talking like Bugattis, the most exotic vehicles that are worth like $6-10 million driving around, women wearing the most exquisite, lavish clothes. And while we were hypnotized by all of this condensed luxury, this condensed amount of wealth, there was one thing that stuck out the most. That was the quickest observation. And without being judgmental, I want to premise this, without being judgmental, this is it. Health is wealth. It does not matter what you're wearing. I saw so many men, particularly men, some women, that did not look healthy. They looked tired. They looked grumpy. I do not know what's going on in their life. They could have health issues outside of what I was observing. The point being that some people think that building wealth in terms of just dripping in luxury is the one thing that can save you. And it is not. It's not. It's surrounding yourself with the people that you love. It is being physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually healthy. The true wealth is health, because they say if you're on your deathbed, there's only one thing that you could wish for is a healthy life again, right? So when you're sick, you just want one thing, to be good again. And then if you're not sick, you have a million problems. Let's just all pretend that this is the last year of the life that we're living. Like, are we living the life we really, really want? Do we have the people in our life that we really want? Are we running businesses that we want? Are we married to the partners that we really want? That is the ultimate luxury. The second thing is that luxury does not equal confidence. We think we can rock up to a casino or some sort of restaurant in a gorgeous vehicle with maybe a gorgeous man or woman in our arms and have like beautiful shoes and beautiful bags, thinking that this is the thing that's going to make me confident. Sure, maybe it's better than your old beater Jedi or your old beater Volkswagen, but also it doesn't matter. It's so insignificant, because I know the most confident people are the people that don't care what they wear. They don't care what their hair look like. They just love themselves. I've seen women strut through hotels with designer whatever, but they just did not look happy. They didn't look like they belonged. And let me tell you, and I'm probably going to emphasize this again, one of the other biggest realizations in this trip was, oh gosh, this was hilarious. On day 2 of being in Monaco, so we were already like a week and a bit into this trip, we're staying at not in the Martinez. Where did we stay? It's a really beautiful hotel. Oh, the Monte Carlo in Monaco. And was it the Monte Carlo? No, the Metropole. Sorry. Anyway, Dan rented a Ferrari, and I get car sick pretty easily. And you can imagine these highways are just like windy roads up through the mountains, absolutely stunning and beautiful. We went out for a car, like a little zip in the morning, and he had the car for the day. And I said, tell you what, you go enjoy this car ride by yourself. I know you want me there, but I just can't be there. We'll meet at the end of the day. And so I went about my day doing my thing, and he did his, and we met up at the end of the day. And he had gotten a little bit dressed up, right? He had his collared shirt on, nice pants. Like, he looked really suave. And I was wearing cutoff jean shorts and a t-shirt. And I don't even think I showered that day. Maybe put on a little bit of makeup. He gets back and he's like, I asked him, I go, are you hungry? Let's go grab something to eat, like somewhere off the street or whatever, like just get it and go, come back to the hotel room, go to bed. He's like, why don't we go look at the Fairmont curve? So if you know anything about like Formula One, one of the most iconic races is in Monaco. 3-kilometer track, super windy. And there's this big turn that's like this iconic turn. It's at the Fairmont. I think it's called the Fairmont Bend. He's like, let's go check it out, because it's a lot of photographers there. There's people that fly in from all over the world just to stand there at any given day taking pictures of supercars, because they're everywhere. So we go, and I'm thinking, okay, this is it. We're going to grab some food and go home. Because remember, he's dressed up. I'm not. I look disheveled, cut off jean shorts, running shoes, whatever. He goes, let's go check out the Fairmont. Okay. So we walk in. I am hands down the most underdressed person in probably the entire country. We see, oh gosh, the restaurant Nobu is there. If you know anything about Nobu, most places take weeks, if not months, for you to get in to get a seat at the table. So it's like 6:30 p.m., 7 p.m., walking around, these women wearing practically ball gowns. And I'm like just stepping away next to Dan, and I got my running shoes on and my t-shirt, and I'm actually like feeling really insecure and self-confident by the fact that I could have at least tried and I didn't. We see Nobu. So Dan goes, hey, let's go check it out there. We'll see if we can get in. I go, Dan, no, like I heard it takes a month wait list to get in to go to this restaurant. So we show up, and I'm like hiding behind them because I don't want the hostess to see that I'm with them, let alone wearing this crappy clothes. And again, a little bit of lineup forms, gorgeous bags, gorgeous jewelry, gorgeous dresses, gorgeous shoes. And Dan goes, is there a table for 2 right now for my wife? And I was like kind of poking my head up from behind him. I was like, hi. And she looked me up and down. I was like, oh God, here we go. I'm not gonna be allowed in here. I get it. There's probably dress code. She's like, yeah, there's a table for 2. We can seat you right now. And the whole walk to the table, this is like, seems so stupid. Seems so stupid that I was like reacting this way, but I felt like I had to freaking fit in. So we sit down and Dan's like, you're overreacting. And I'm like, I get the people that come here to Monaco, to this restaurant, to this hotel, to see these supercars, probably spent time creating some sort of plan for their wardrobe. And he taught me a lesson in this, and I taught myself a lesson in this too, is that, self-confidence doesn't come from luxury. It comes from knowing that you belong in every room you walk into. And so I sat down, and let me tell you, I had one of the most gorgeous, beautiful meals I have ever eaten. I even had myself a little cocktail. This place overlooked the ocean. It was gorgeous. And I did not, and he reflected this on me, I did not let the fact that I was wearing jeans shorts change the experience that I was having in this hotel. So maybe I'll make jeans shorts luxury again. So luxury doesn't equal confidence. You can't be the most insecure person and buy a supercar and think that's going to make you more confident. These jokes, people are like, oh, tiny dick syndrome for a man that drives a supercar or a man that has like this big ass truck with those big wheels. Because there's this air of people thinking that others are making up for their lack of confidence by being flashy. And, maybe that's true, but that could be true for everybody. So the next step is that money magnifies your energy. So we ended up in Saint Tropez before coming back to go to Nice to grab our flight home. We were there for a couple days. And that place really held up a mirror because it was like, Saint Tropez was like the Monaco, but a beach town. So again, supercars, luxury, but it was more chill in the sense that there was like, people wearing just beachy cover-ups going out for dinner. But what I realized in this place is that money doesn't change people, it amplifies them. And understanding this part of the world especially is that there's people that are billionaires there, and this is like old money. They've only ever known what it's like to live in luxury. They've only ever known what it's like to buy whatever they want when they want. And it comes with the sense of like, for some people, entitlement, 100%. And for some people, just they have standards and they have expectations. And I can see how that money magnifies that energy. It magnifies any energy that you are. It doesn't change you. It just kind of shows you who you really are. So if I were to give you $1 million, would you go and spend it on something crazy knowing you still had debt to pay down? Or would you pay down your debt, take the extra money and invest it? Like, it absolutely magnifies who you are and your energy. The other thing I learned in the south of France and in Italy is that there's this, because it's such a romantic part of the world, that you have the opportunity to romanticize everything in your life. So the espresso in Florence, the sea breeze in Portofino, the conversations over rosé with my husband, who doesn't drink, by the way, but I drank the rosé for him, watching the sunsets, having the best affogatos in Florence, is that things happen slower in Italy, right? Like your food served a little bit slower, but there's like this art and craftsmanship and pride, but not like this cocky pride, but this pride in the sense of the craft that they're delivering. And I'm going to talk about this again, but for instance, the craft of creating the best cappuccino, for instance, I never had a terrible cappuccino the whole time I was there. And I never felt like the food that was being served was just being served to another customer that's just another number. It's like everything they crafted was with such pride. I bought a custom crocodile skin bag that's kind of cool. I think it's the same type of crocodile skins that the Hermes people use for their bags. And the artmanship that went into every single detail of the bag. No, it's not a Birkin. It looks like a Kelly. It's not a designer name. It's a company called Giosa. I met the founder, and he barely spoke a lick of English. He's an Italian man in his probably late 60s, early 70s. And you could sense the pride that he has in this work in building everything meticulously. We don't have that here. I feel like everything, there's this urgency to scale fast, get the numbers out there, make as many glasses as you can as I take a sip of water here. It's never about the one thing you're making being the best it can be. We need to romanticize everything, and we sure as hell need to slow things down a little bit more in our life. The other thing I learned on this trip is that, and I'll say this lightly, marriage isn't built in Monaco. And what I mean by that is that you can have the most glamorous, luxurious, romantic, Instagram-worthy setting for your relationship, for your proposal, for your marriage, for your date. And it still won't magically improve. A 5-star hotel is not the ultimate healer in a relationship. You might have a $500 dinner, or you might end up going on like a boat sunset cruise in the French Riviera. Oh, it sounds perfect. It's still not the thing that is going to make your marriage better. Marriage is in contrast to that luxury lifestyle, because marriage is all about doing the work consistently, constantly, showing up for yourself, for your significant other. And that work, yes, it can be romantic, but like the romance in a marriage is really the outcome of all the hard work that you put into it. The romance in the work that you do for your business is the result of all the blood, sweat, and tears you put into it. And that's what I learned in Monaco. Is your marriage isn't built on the luxury. The marriage isn't built on what you think the perfect version of a relationship should be. It's built on understanding that you two are ships in the sea sailing together at different paces, hitting different storms, but knowing you're always coming back to each other. Maybe one person has a super yacht in one moment and the other person is struggling to paddle a canoe, and that's okay. But knowing that you're always coming back to the same port at the end of the day is the most magnificent thing when it comes to marriage. Excellence is a lifestyle. That's the other thing that I learned too. We talked about like craftsmanship, but also that the excellence in even like understanding and respecting who my husband is and who I am and my version of me showing up to different circumstances. It's like the excellence is a lifestyle. The excellence and the standards that you set for your marriage and for your business and for your family. It's a lifestyle. The other thing I learned is that you're always being watched. So own it. In Monaco, you're always being probably judged and critiqued and watched. From every step of you walking down the street, someone's watching you and taking pictures. Like I said earlier, people are flying into Monaco purely for the sake of grabbing pictures and videos of these supercars. So people are always observing you. Now, most of the time, they don't give a crap about who you are or what you're doing because they're more concerned about themselves and they're in this process of comparing you. So if you know that you're being watched, just own it. Just own who you are. You do something crazy, like you trip, you fall, you spill your coffee all over your shirt, just own it. Like, it's who you are. You can't change the fact that you did it. Now that memory is in them, most people just don't care. So, and then going back to this lifestyle of like in Monaco and how everyone's watching and like some people love it, some people don't care. What I realized is that you can never be the perfect version of what you think other people expect of you. So just own the energy that you bring into every single room. The other thing that I learned is that the more expensive the decision, the more regulated you must be. Dan likes quick decision making. He's like, he knows it's a yes or a no. There's hardly ever any in between. I'm different. If there's a decision that's going to require more of my time, more of my resources, I need time to think about it because I look at it from like the initial 30,000 foot view. And then I also get down to like living in it. For instance, if he's like, hey, let's go to Italy and France for 2 weeks and we're going to move every 2 days. I'm like, oh, that sounds great, but like, that's what we did. Every 2 days we went to a new hotel in a new city. I actually have to put myself in the situation, sit there and picture myself checking into a hotel, unpacking, hanging out for 2 days, checking out, getting in a car, driving for 2.5, 3 hours to the next location, checking in. Our room's not ready. What do we do? To actually know that, is that the hustle that I want for this trip? Dan is a quick decision maker. He says, yes, we can course correct while we're in it. For me, it's like, I need to know what this whole trip's going to look like. I need to know what the whole idea of my coaching program is going to look like before I commit. Not every single detail, but in understanding the full experience. And that's really what I'm saying yes to. And let me tell you, being there, I mean, yes, I updated Instagram as much as I could. I could have done way more. There are some of my friends that are so great at documenting their travels on Instagram and social. I'm not one of them, and that's okay, because I was just so in it. So I learned that disconnection is the ultimate business hack, not constantly checking TikTok or Instagram or updating something or checking email. Complete disconnection some days. And what I learned in all of that is the best business ideas come up. The best ideas on how I want to spend the rest of my trip or the rest of my day or what I want to eat for dinner. Because when you're not bombarded with other people's agenda, when you're not bombarded with other people's branding and marketing and sales, and you're just sitting with yourself, maybe reading a book, listening to an audiobook, a podcast, but oftentimes I was like not even plugged into anything. I got so many business ideas. It was like a brain break. It's like my brain's been running a marathon for the last year nonstop. I finally got to turn it off. And it's like it opened up a portal to so much more clarity in my life. And it was so relaxing. So the question is like, where are you allowing that space, that freedom in your schedule to just be, to not have everything so packed and tight, and like the kids getting to soccer and this and that, and then scheduling their camps and coordinating all these activities? Like, where are you just letting a moment in your day just be what it is without any input, without anything, just sit there in silence? That was for me the biggest lesson. And I also loved my slow mornings there. I also loved not having this urgency of having to get up and be with the kids or go work out and do my 5-minute journal and like stress that I have to do my routine. I was like, I'm going to let the morning be what it is. And I would sleep in, and I loved it. So I'm bringing some of that stuff back. You know, people say the morning routine is the only way to be successful. And I do believe that there's a lot of that's true. But also sometimes we create such rigid structure about what we think the ultimate morning routine is, and it ends up being something that just stresses us out. I'm the kind of person that just needs a lot of space in my schedule. I need to like know what, so I'm so sensitive that I need to show up with the right energy to be able to like record a podcast episode or take a sales call. And yes, there are days when I'm like, I don't even want to do this, but I'm here. And I'm giving you the best tips on what I've learned from my trip. But all that to say is that sometimes stepping away from that like super detailed, organized life is just the absolute best thing you can do for yourself. The other thing I learned is that if you don't feel worthy, nothing will ever be enough. Like showing up to Nobu in jean shorts. Oh my gosh. So the cool thing about Monaco, I have to say this, is that there's so much wealth that their previously loved stores, so they don't like calling them consignment shops, are the best. I walked into one called Queen Bee, and it's in Monaco. And I asked the owner there, I'm like, where do you get all your stuff? And she's like, honestly, people just come and drop it off. So these people are, the customers or the people that drop stuff off are so wealthy that they don't care about making money back or getting a kickback on their stuff. They actually just need a place to bring it for people that care about it. So I got like some really cool stuff there for not full price. The other thing that I learned is that the real work comes home with you. This was like the biggest aha moment, that like we take trips, we go on vacations thinking that we're trying to escape something, right? If we just avoid it, it'll change. If we just avoid it, it'll go away. No. Everything is exactly as it is when you come home, because it isn't about the things or the people or the circumstance. It's about the fact that they've triggered you. And those issues, they still trigger you. So it doesn't matter where you go, there you are. And all your BS is there with you to find you, to infiltrate your thoughts. And coming back into reality, it just magnifies all those triggers. And I got that lesson. I've only been home for like 48 hours, not even 48 hours. And I thought all the things that I needed a break from would be easier to deal with when I got home. And I just went right back into getting triggered by my kids and other stuff. So just know that it doesn't matter where you go or what you're trying to escape from. When you come back to your reality, it's always that BS is always going to be there. So you always have to do the work. And it's not necessarily about fixing things. It is like, it's not about fixing things, especially when the conditions are perfect. It's about just understanding that you have to do the work. It's always going to be there. And it's best to do it all the time when you can. So yeah, this trip was great. I'm still exhausted, but I really, really hope that you got the best lessons from my trip in the south of France and in Italy. And let me tell you, I did not gain a single pound, and I ate all the pasta, the pizza, the burrata cheese, the halloumi cheese, all the food, way more quantity-wise, I think, that I would normally eat. Didn't gain weight. We walked a lot, drank a lot of water. But it's just a very romantic, slow-moving lifestyle that I just can't wait to integrate into my life here at home and into my business. I would love to know if there's anything that stuck to you in this episode, or any tips you have on traveling across time zones. But most importantly, I would love to hear from you the best part of this episode that you took away and who you're going to share this with. Hit me up on Instagram, Renee_Warren. Until next time, ladies, peace out.